Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the North Shore 9 postgame show powered by Primanti Brothers. I'm Jim. With me today is Ryan. Ryan, Pirates lose again. 5th time in 6 games. They're swept by the Padres. They're now 12-23. This isn't good baseball, Ryan.
No.
Not good baseball.
No, 1-5 homestand against the Cubs and Padres, which obviously are two very good teams. But the Pirates just aren't on that level. And I mean, Jim, words you're seeing to describe the Pirates on Twitter today: miserable, unwatchable, brutal, pathetic. This has got to be, I was thinking about this during the game, because like all week, it's just like, Pirates are on. I guess I'll tune in. Half the time I don't tune in if I'm not doing the game. This is the most disinterested I've been in the Pirates in my lifetime. And we watched 20 straight years of losing. It's crazy.
Ryan, before this game even started, this is just how I knew it was going to go. Like, Steven Kolek was on the mound for the Padres. He's got a 6.38 earned run average on the year. My wife and I, we were cleaning out our refrigerator. You know how every once in a while you got to kind of clean out. You got some old leftovers and stuff in there, right?
That sounds more exciting than the Pirate game.
We're cleaning out the refrigerator, and there's some old food that's obviously shouldn't be eaten. And I'm like, maybe I can eat this and give myself food poisoning so I don't have to do this post-game show that's coming up. I was like, that sounds almost like a better plan than sitting down and watching this game and then having to talk about it for 30 minutes. The game hadn't even started yet. This was this morning. I just knew it was coming. Like,
yeah. That's the feeling that Ben Cherington and Bob Nutting have created here in Pittsburgh.
I'm like, Pirates or food poisoning. It was a tough decision, Ryan.
Yes.
Anyways, the Pirates were the betting favorites in today's game, so hopefully you did the right thing there. But let me tell you about Bet Online. It's time to head to the track as the first leg of the Triple Crown, the Kentucky Derby, is here. It was yesterday. Bet Online is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for all your Kentucky Derby info and sports betting action. With the largest selection of odds on everything from the NBA and NHL playoffs to MLB, UFC, and boxing, Bet Online has you covered for all your online wagering info. In between games, head over to the Bet Online casino with all the top Vegas-style games, including poker and live casino. Bet Online, the game starts here. All right, Ryan. I mean, let's just kind of let's run through this one. I mean, it was really sort of much of the same. Like, this is just how every Pirates loss has seemingly gone for the entire season. The starting pitching wasn't great today. Heaney fails to even get through 4, but I thought the bullpen did a really good job today for the Pirates. So, like, we'll give them a little bit of credit there. But it's just this Pirates offense, just nothing. And again, we're talking about a 28-year-old Steven Kolek. He's making his first major league start.
Yeah.
He gave up 7 runs to the Albuquerque Isotopes 2 outings ago. And he just comes out here and just dog walks this Pirates lineup.
Yeah. And so you mentioned it's his first start. He pitched last year with the Padres. He wasn't good then either out of the bullpen. He had like a 5.21 ERA at age 27. So he wasn't good last year. And like you said, it's just that it's the recipe for Pirates baseball lately is here's a pitcher that you haven't heard of. He's hasn't started. He wasn't good in AAA, and he's not mowed the Pirates down, but he went 5 1/3 scoreless innings. Like, it's just this lineup, Kutch sat, he pinch hit late in the game. it's just, Pham was back after his reset, as Shelton called it. I was like, oh, is that what it was? Pham had a couple singles. Cruz, struck out a couple times. He had a hard hit ball, but just, nothing fell in. Just there's nothing from this lineup. They can't manufacture anything. They don't hit the long ball for the most part. Reynolds is struggling right now still. And even when they get guys on, I mean, Gorski pinch hits. We like, where's Gorski been? He pinch hit triples with one out. A ball gets hit right to him. He has to stop and wait because the ball literally almost hit him. He looks back and sees Machado fielding the ball and takes off for home base. Like, what are we doing? And he's thrown out, obviously. So even when they get guys in second or third, under 2 outs, they don't get him in. Hayes gets picked off on second going to third. So it's just six shutouts we're on May 4th and they've been shut out 6 times.
It's May 4th. They've been shut out 6 times. They've been swept 3 times. It's just bad baseball. Like you were saying. I mean, the first inning, the Pirates should have gotten out of that first inning with no runs. Machado with that double as his nose is bleeding. He gets a 2-out double.
Yeah, and then a strike.
And then Bogarts hits one at like 4 feet to the left of Hayes. It was rolled, a base hit, but like that's a play that Ke'Bryan Hayes, you expect him to make over and over and over again. It gets past him. Machado scores that first run. So not only did that give up a run, but it also, like, that should have been the end of the inning. Heaney should have been out of that inning after 15 pitches. Instead, he throws damn near 30 pitches that
31
first
pitches,
inning.
I think it was, yeah.
Yeah, and then that changes the whole dynamic of the game as well. So like I said, just bad baseball. And like I said, that was a misplay by Hayes. In the second inning, the Pirates get some life, and then Hayes gets picked off second base. So it's like, what you mentioned before, it's like anytime that there's something right that happens with this team, it's like there's just 1 step forward, 2 steps back over and over again. 1 step forward, 2 steps back. Someone starts having a good day where they hit the ball. Like Ke'Bryan Hayes had 2 hits today, but he gave up a run on the field and he got picked off. So it's like, you didn't do anything. You didn't do anything good. So that's just another thing. And like I said, they just keep making mistakes over and over and over again. That Gorski play, like you mentioned, 1 step forward, pinch hit triple, awesome. Like the game was over at that point, but you could have at least made it close. Gorski triples, and then he watches Manny Machado field the ball.
He looked right at him.
Takes off after the fact, and he's out by 20 feet. You can't do that. You can't do that against Manny Machado. And I get it. It was like a weird play where it was hit like right at him. Like I understood him sort of flinching on that play because it's like, you don't want to get hit by the baseball.
Right.
But once the flinch happens, you got to go back to third. Yep. You can't go home at that point because you're dead. You're dead when you go home.
I don't know
it's just so frustrating because it's just bad baseball over and over and over and over again.
I don't know if he thought once he saw Machado field it, like if he tried to go back to third, Machado was going to beat him there. I don't know if that was in his thought process, but yeah, he just looks right at him and then takes off the home and gets thrown out. Like you said, not close at all. But yeah, look, the Pirates' chance to get runs in this game was against the starter Kolek. They didn't do it. Then you get into that Padres bullpen. And I mean, the Padres were just throwing one after another after at you. And the Pirates offense aren't going to do too much against that. They didn't even use their closer. He was warming up in the 9th, but Adam finished the 9th out, and that was it. It just, the Pirates they struggle to score runs. And like you said, Heaney gave up 4. That was the game, and everybody knew it. And Heaney's start could have been a lot different. Like you mentioned, that first inning, there's 2 outs. If he gets out of that inning at 10 pitches, that's a completely different outing. And then even the third run that he gave up in the next inning, that came with 2 outs as well. It was the 4th run. He gave up the home run to Diaz first. So if he gets out a couple, gets a couple calls or gets out of that inning, maybe it's a different start for Heaney. But the fact that you're giving up 2, 3, 4, and the Pirates offense not going to hit a pitcher from AAA that has a 6 ERA, you're done at that point. So it's yeah, like you said, you want to you put a gun to my head, Jim, and make me come up with some positives for the game. Holderman had a clean 2.1 innings. Joey Bart, two hit game. He had a double. Tanner Rainey made his debut, a Pirates debut. I thought he looked good. And, and then Gorski had 2 hits, but like you said, he gets thrown out at home. So there wasn't much in this game. It's just more of the same. And the team's 11 under.
Team's 11 under. Heaney looked off today too. I mean, just to kind of dissect his start a little bit. There were moments where it could have gone a little bit different, but it was like every time that you needed something good to happen, it didn't. The extended innings, the tons. I mean, he threw 100 pitches and he failed to get, and he got 11 outs today. That's just not very effective. He ended up only actually hit 4 walks, 8 hits, 3 2/3 innings. So like one of his worst outings. So that's back-to-back outings now from him where like he really didn't look too good. The Pirates also haven't scored a run in an Andrew Heaney start in each of his last 2 outings. So it's like whatever he did anyways, it wouldn't have mattered. The Pirates have been outscored 13-0 in the last 2 Andrew Heaney starts. But he didn't really look great today. But I do want to touch on, like the bullpen looked good. That was the best we've seen Colin Holderman look all year. He was super efficient. He was throwing strikes. The contact was weak. So like you liked what you saw out of him. He threw 21 pitches and got 7 outs.
Yep. Yeah. All of a sudden he's Mr. Efficient when we're down 4-0.
Yeah. So like, but again, like those are where you want to put him. Like those are the opportunities you want to put him in is like, the game was over at that point. Essentially, he goes out there and he gets, 7 outs for you. Tanner Rainey. Yeah. He looked good. Santana, welcome back, Dennis Santana. He just did what Dennis Santana normally does: 8 pitches, 3 up, 3 down. Wentz with the scoreless 9. So
he picked up right where he left off, huh?
Yeah. So like under any normal circumstance where you have like a normal functioning offense, the bullpen did what you needed it to do to keep your team in the game, and the offense again just couldn't get it done. 8 hits. They did get 2 extra base hits, but they were 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position. And again, like you can't make the mistakes with the pickoff. You can't make the mistakes with the getting thrown out at home. If those 2 things don't happen, maybe we're talking about a different game. Like maybe the Padres deploy their bullpen a little bit differently. Maybe the Pirates are able to use different hitters later in the game, but in different situations. So like, you never know what happens if you just don't make those mistakes. And the Pirates just made more mistakes than the other team. And this is kind of what we've been seeing over and over and over again. They're not a good enough team to make more mistakes than teams that are better than them. Like if you're going to beat the Padres, you've got to play good, sound, fundamental baseball. You're not going to beat the Padres when you give them extra outs. You're not going to beat the Padres when you run yourself into outs on the bases. You're not going to beat the Padres when it seems like you are just completely checked out. And I don't know if the players are checked out. Like I don't want to necessarily blame the players 100% here, but like this keeps happening over and over and over again. At some point, and this, I think this is where we get into all of this. Like, the roster isn't constructed very, very, very nicely. Like the players on this team aren't as good as the players on the opposing teams. But at the same time, they're making the same mistakes over and over and over again. That falls on the coaching staff. Like, are these guys not prepared for the situations that they come into? There was another opportunity today. Henry Davis catches a ball, first and second. There's a double steal. He throws the ball down to third. Brian Hayes isn't covering the base. So, like, whose fault is that? Was Hayes supposed to be covering the base? Did Davis not know that Hayes wasn't going to be covering the base ahead of time? There's just too many mistakes that this team makes from a fundamental standpoint that there's clearly something wrong here. and you're now 11 games under 500 on May 4th. Your playoff odds are essentially shot. I mean, we're going to have this discussion tomorrow on Bucko Brew. I'm sure me and Denardo will talk at length about it, but like something has to change drastically right now because the season is, if it isn't completely over, it's right there. Like it's knocking on the doorstep of being completely over.
Well, I remember you guys talking about this last year when, and it was, Shelton wasn't going anywhere and he was coming back and he's going to be in there for next year. They talked about if the team starts off slow, he's got to go. Like that's Ben's last move. Like that's his last card that he has is to fire the manager and use him as a scapegoat and then bring somebody else in. Well, 12-23, like what kind of more bad start do you need to see at this point? Because like you said, it's time after time after time again. It's the same thing that we're seeing with lack of fundamentals. And like, I'm with you. I don't want to sit there and question people not trying or something like that. But to me, this is what lack of accountability looks like. When you have lack of accountability from the top, then, you have it down all the way down to on the field. And it's just, okay, who cares if Valdez keeps going out there and goes 0 for 3 and, and there's nobody to really pull them out or, they like we've seen around baseball. It was going around Twitter. I forget who it was exactly today, but somebody got pulled out of a game after, not running something out, or it was a player.
Yeah.
But,
so like this was like, so Brian McElhenney tweeted this out, that
you saw it then.
Milwaukee benched Sal Frelick last week for just missing a cutoff man. Benched him, right?
Yep.
Benched him.
You never see that here.
You don't see that here. And the quote there was, quote, "These are young players and they've got to know there's consequences for not playing right or playing sloppy." That was the quote from the manager. When have you ever heard anything like that from Derek Shelton?
Never.
It's instead it's like, "Hey Derek, what went wrong today? I always didn't execute. I don't know. We just didn't execute. Or like, we got to be better."
Well, that was a big talk just around Twitter and our Discord and stuff this past day. It was like, Shelton's presser after yesterday's game, and him basically saying like, I'm not really sure why we, that stat, the double plays we've hit into. I'm not really sure why that, what contributes to that or whatever. Like and people are frustrated obviously with him just being like, I don't know. I don't know. And other people are saying, well, what's he supposed to say? Is he supposed to run players under the bus? You don't necessarily have to run players under the bus. And we've seen managers do it. And sometimes it kind of needs to be done, but you don't have to do that. But there's a way to go about it where you could say, he needs to be better in that spot. And whether that's on Shelton or it's on that player, like we need to be better. And you just never hear that from Shelton. You never hear that. And it's just, and I'm not like, we've talked about this ad nauseum, like getting rid of Shelton and bringing in somebody else or putting Don Kelly in. It's probably not going to change much, but the accountability, like you just have to do it after a while. And if I'm Ben Cherington, and I'm assuming my job is I'm on the hot seat at this point because your team's terrible, I have to make this move. So like, you have to make this move because it's the only way that I think Ben saves his job at some point, or we are really screwed. And Ben knows that his job's safe for a lot longer than we think. And he likes Shelton. He's just going to keep rolling with him. And that's where we're at. There's no accountability, but it's like at some point you have to do this. You have to get rid of him for the accountability and make it known to these players that, hey, if you don't perform, you may be gone next.
I mean, that's it. And like, we're kind of straying off from talking about the game a little bit, but I think this game was a good microcosm of just the entire season as a whole. It was just poor play, poor fundamentals, poor decision, poor coaching, and poor execution, just all around in all aspects of the game. And at some point, someone needs to be held responsible for what's going on right now. At some point.
And even going back to Andrew Heaney's start, like he wasn't sharp. He obviously, once he gave up some runs, he started walking guys. and we've seen a lot better from him this year. It has to stick with these guys. Pitching with this kind of offense, you give up a run or two, that can't be very much fun pitching when you know but this game's probably over. Like, how many runs are we really going to score? And then, so I don't know what plays into that with the starting pitchers and everything. But it's just, again, like, yes, he didn't have a great start, but like you said, the bullpen kept them in it. It wasn't like you can't put this again on the pitching. It was nobody hit. We had 8 hits and 0 runs. So it's just like, it's just another more of the same from the Buccos. And I just, look, here's the problem too. Like, Bubba Chandler is going to be coming up soon, probably in the next, hopefully week, 2 weeks, whatever. He's not really saving this team. Jared Jones comes back. He's probably not saving this team. Like, the pitching is fine. The pitching has been fine. There's no hitter. And don't tell me Horowitz. Like, one guy's not coming to save this lineup. You need about 5 guys at this point. So that's the problem. Even with Chandler and Jones up here, and you have Skeens, this team's in trouble because the way the lineup is constructed, they don't have anybody. And they don't, unless Connor Griffin's, coming up in the next month, which he isn't, this team's in big trouble.
And I mean, they did just get done playing a pretty brutal stretch here, right? Dodgers, Cubs, Padres are 3 of the better teams in the National League. But those are teams that, like, they're the better teams. And if you want to get to where you want to be, you've got to measure up against the better teams. And just to kind of show you how they did in this stretch, the Dodgers outscored the Pirates 17-9 in their series, right? The Cubs outscored the Pirates 20-7. The Padres just swept the Pirates, outscored them 15-5. Like, the Pirates they're just not as good as these teams that they're playing. Like, straight up. Yeah. They're not as good as these other teams. And ultimately that falls on Ben Cherington. But at the same time, like, you have to at least look like you're competent out there. You can't, if you're going to win in the margins, you've got to then win in the margins. They're not doing that. They're losing in the margins. They're losing where it matters. They're losing where it doesn't matter. They're losing everywhere. And these teams are just, I mean, like I said, that's the class of the National League that they just went through.
Yep.
But they got destroyed. Like, they didn't look like they belonged on the same field as any of those 3 teams.
No. And it's not getting, they're going to get into divisional games. They got the Braves coming up. Like, it's not going to get any easier. That's the thing. And like you said, yes, these teams are the class of the NL. They're better than the Pirates, but how many teams are the Pirates better than? Like the Rockies?
One right now in the National League. 2
right.
White Sox, and like the White Sox are gaining steam on them right now.
I mean, we lost 3 of 4 to the Marlins to start the year. So that's what I mean. Like, this team is just not there. And yeah, when Bubba and Jones comes back and they're here, like, the rotation's going to look really good. But when you got pitchers going out there knowing the offense is going to struggle to score 2 runs, it's not a good situation to be pitching in. And it's just, I don't see who's helping this offense anytime soon. And I mean, it's bad. It's been, I don't know if you want to talk about anybody else in this lineup,
rough.
But
no, I mean, it's really rough. I mean, like I said, Hayes with the 2 hits, but he negates it with his base running and his defense there.
How about Triolo at short today? Gets that ground ball. The runner's already at third. He looks over there. Why? I don't know. He just kind of does like a second, hand in the glove and then throws it over there safe. And it's just, that's what I mean. It's just, yeah.
I think they actually gave him an error on that too. No. They gave him an error on the throw home. The throw home that got an extra back. But yeah, I mean, it was just, like I said, sloppy play, sloppy base running, and not being able to capitalize and hit off of Stephen Kolek. That's it. Like it's just the same story over and over and over
Yeah,
again.
and it's
They
not just
can't
this year.
hit.
Like that story's been the same for like how many
That's
years?
the entire Ben Cherington, Derek
Yeah,
Shelton
it's like who's this starting
regime.
pitcher? We never heard of him. Oh, he was bad in AAA. 5 shutout innings, and that's Pirates baseball right now, and
Yeah.
that's why everybody is checked out, tuned out. This is miserable. This is unwatchable. I mean, it's tomorrow night. Like I'm gonna be watching my kids. Like, am I gonna turn the Pirates on? I don't know. It's just not. It's not high up on the priority list right now, and that's where that's where it is, unfortunately.
No, God bless everyone who's still checking in. Everyone who's watching right now or watching or listening later, like you guys are the MVPs. Hang in
You
there,
really
hang in
are.
there. We're
Yeah,
gonna
you really
talk
are.
about it all season long. So we appreciate you guys. But yeah, I mean, offensively, Bart 2 hits, Hayes 2 hits, Pham 2 hits after his reset, quote unquote reset, and then Gorski 2 hits off of the bench. But
Can we
yeah,
get Reynolds a reset here? Because I mean
he
he's
went
down
through
to
that
two.
little mini stretch. Like he went through like that 3-game stretch where you're like, oh, is he maybe turning things around? And his last 2 games have been bad.
Yep. Yeah, it's bad. But that's just it. Like, Gorski and then you have Pagero, like play these guys. Cause at this point, like we don't want to see any more Frazier and Pham and Trillo at short. Like play Gorski. He had 2 hits today. Like at the very least, like these guys, these guys aren't murderers row, but there's somebody different. It's like let them play while they're here. Pagero is going to be here and like what get maybe a defensive replacement or something, and he'll be back down in AAA. And it's like, what are we doing? Let's see him.
My response to that is like, if we're here clamoring for Leover Pagero playing time on May 4th, like it's over. it's
and it is
like
over. Yeah,
it's over. Like what are we even doing at this point? If that's what we're saying is why is Leover Pagero here and not playing? Then guys, we're cooked. We're cooked. Leover Pagero had
a fork in them.
Leover Pagero had a sub 700 OPS in AAA. Like
I know, and it's like put him in.
Yeah.
Oh goodness.
Like Brock says here, there's really only one guy who can save this season, and it's Nick Solak.
I mean, why not? Why not?
Seriously. That was just a bit, for a really long time for me, but I'm getting real close to like just seriously pushing that.
Here, Nathan says free Nick York. Yeah, free somebody. I mean,
York's not hitting either. Like
who cares?
Been better this week, but like same thing. Like he's striking out 30% of the time. Like these are the guys that we're clamoring for. Like none of these guys are going to help.
Yeah. Yeah, Horowitz in Double-A, in the rehab, like, yeah, he'll be back, but he's not.
Horowitz will be back, and he should help a little bit. But yeah, like you said,
one guy's not going to turn it around.
One guy can't turn this around. You could bring back prime Barry Bonds right now, and this team's it's still not enough. Not enough.
It's brutal right now, guys. But yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in because this is therapy right here. We need it.
It is. Bucko Brew tomorrow. I'm sure we're gonna have a lot to talk about there, especially when it comes to what has to happen. Like I think we're at the point now where like we have to get really, 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 really serious about people getting fired. And that's just it's a sucky situation to be in because it means things are going really, really bad. But this season couldn't have started off any worse than it did. It couldn't have. Like this is worse than I think anybody would have imagined.
It's worse than most of the starts during the rebuild the past 5 years. I mean,
this is worse than the 100 lost seasons so far up to this point. Yeah. And there were like real expectations this time.
And this was what did Cherington said, it's time to win, or Shelton said that in spring training. Yeah.
It's time to win.
So well, if nobody's fired before May 24th, we will be there for the NS9 tailgate, and we'll fire people. We will get in there and do some firing. But yeah, so make sure you guys got that on your calendar. May 24th, the NS9 tailgate against the Brew Crew. We will be there.
Steel City DW, shout out, huge supporter. Thank you for that.
Thanks, Steel City.
Yep. So, well, I think that's it for today. The Pirates hit the road coming up after this. Yeah, like I said, make sure you check out Bucko Brew tomorrow. Like I said, we are going to really get into the thick of that during that conversation. And yeah, Pirates hit the road. St. Louis 3-game series on the road. We'll be there with the post game shows for that as well before coming back home for the weekend against Atlanta. So everybody, appreciate you all. Hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't, all that good stuff. That's all I got, Ryan.
Yeah, hit the bell. That's what I am.
Hit the bell. See you guys. All right, that wraps up this episode of North Shore 9. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whether you're listening on the podcast or catching us on YouTube, if you enjoyed the show, please give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It really helps us grow. And if you're listening on the podcast, a quick review goes a long way in helping others find the show. Plus, be sure to tell a friend about us. There's always room for more here in the NS9 community. And for those looking to support us a little more, consider joining our Patreon, become an MVP member, and get exclusive perks while helping us continue to bring you more of the Pirates content you love. Thanks again for all your support, and let's go Bucks.